The argument that wasn't won. It started like most arguments do, small, almost insignificant. A misplaced word, a misunderstood tone, a sentence that landed just slightly wrong. At first it was calm, controlled. Two voices, measured and careful, each trying to explain, to be heard. But beneath the surface, something else stirred, something older than the moment itself. Frustration. "You're not listening," one voice said. "I am," the other replied quickly, too quickly. And just like that, the shift happened. The air in the room grew heavier. Words became sharper. Sentences were no longer bridges, but weapons, each one crafted not to understand, but to win. Voices rose, not loud at first, but louder than they needed to be. Each interruption added fuel. Each sigh became an accusation. Each pause felt like judgment. "You always do this." "That's not true." "It is." "No, it isn't." The argument circled itself, feeding on repetition, growing stronger not from truth, but from insistence. Neither side noticed when understanding left the room. What remained was pride, and pride does not listen. It defends, it attacks, it refuses to bend. Minutes passed, though it felt longer. Time stretched under the weight of tension. The room, once familiar, now felt distant, like a place neither belonged anymore. Then suddenly, silence. Not the peaceful kind, the kind that comes when there is nothing left to say, or when too much has already been said. One turned away first, a quiet retreat, but heavy with meaning. The other stayed still, eyes fixed on nothing, breathing unevenly, as if trying to steady something inside that had already broken loose. No resolution, no apology, no victory, just distance. Hours later, in separate spaces, the argument continued, but only in thoughts, replayed words, imagined comebacks, sharper responses that came too late. And slowly, something else began to surface. Not anger, not even frustration, but realization. The words that were said, did they matter? The point that was proven, was it worth it? The silence that followed, was that the cost? The truth began to settle in, quietly and without resistance. The argument had not been won, but something had been lost. Because winning had never been the real goal, understanding was. And in the pursuit of being right, both had let it slip away. Morning came gently. Light filtered into the room as if nothing had happened, as if the world had not paused the night before. But something had changed, not visibly, not loudly, but deeply. There would be another conversation, perhaps softer, perhaps more careful, or perhaps not. But one thing remained certain: some arguments cannot be won. Not because they are too difficult, but because the moment you try to win, you've already lost what mattered most.